Hello and welcome to the fifth episode of Two Girls and a Cat. This episode is titled Two Girls Talk Comic Book Movies. I'm Sam.
I'm Carolyn.
And we are going to go through comic book movies starting from the 2000s. And we'll go through why we not chose some and not chose other ones and done these ones and done them ones. So first off, comic book movies have been around since 1939 with the release of Mandrake the Magician, which I was researching this morning as to when was the first comic book movie was released, and it was in 1939 with the release of Mandrake the Magician, which was based on a comic book strip. Since then it's evolved through time, and it is now, and this is where I was struggled this morning. I was like, it evolved through time, and this is where comic movies are now.
Yes.
And how they are today. So today we're going to focus on the DC Universe, MCU and Fox's films.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut out quite a chunk of DC's, because from the 80s, right, from 78, from the first Superman film, right the way up to the 2000s, the DC dominated with comic book films. I couldn't even find them.
It would just go on forever
and ever, and would bore the shit out of you. So we're just going to go DC Universe, like starting from Nolan's trilogy, MCU as it is from Iron Man film, from the start of the Iron Man film, and Fox's films. So with the release of X-Men Apocalypse, now I don't know if it's Age of Apocalypse, because we haven't got that on our posters. We just had Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But I don't know in America if it's Age of Apocalypse.
It might be different.
Might be. But X-Men Apocalypse was released May 18th for us UK folks.
Yeah.
But I know it's only just hit the American cinemas last week.
Yeah.
So we went to see that, it was a few days afterwards?
On the Friday night, yeah.
On the Friday night when it came out. And my anticipation for this film was, it's going to suck. It's going to be crap.
Because people either really like the X-Men films or they
really don't.
Them.
And the early write-ups, and I don't like to read early write-ups, and I know the ones for the Suicide Squad's just come out, and I'm avoiding it as well. Based on the fact that I actually read a few of the X-Men ones, went into this film thinking it's gonna suck balls, and came out going, actually that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So
let's go with that.
Yeah. So the X-Men Apocalypse, we're in the 80s?
Yes.
We're in the 80s. Xavier's school is thriving. He's got all new pupils. He's got a very young Jean Grey.
Before he takes in Cyclops.
Yes, Scott Summers is there. Jubilee.
Yeah.
And we got to meet Nightcrawler, a very young Nightcrawler.
Yes.
And do you want to go into a full spoilers or... Yes, because I actually want to talk about Jean Grey.
Right, let's do that then.
Yeah, I want to talk about Jean Grey. So the full story is, the beginning of the film, you see Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen, and they are getting a body ready, which if you didn't notice in the film was Oscar Isaac, getting a body ready to transport him into another mutant who had another power. So it seems like he evolves through other people.
Taking somebody else's form
on. With their power, with these powers that he already has. Yeah. And we've been doing it since
the Egyptian times.
The Egyptian times, and things go tits up.
Basically,
goes tits up, and he gets pummeled down into the earth, and doesn't rise for many moons later.
Yeah,
many moons, and you've got Michael Fassbender, Magneto. He's after what happened in Days of Future Past. He's decided to go and be a family man.
You find out more about him, don't you? You get a nice little...
that he's a weepy little bitch.
Well, it's a nice little backstory, really, I suppose.
It was. So he's doing his own thing. Raven, Mystique is saving mutants, and that's where she saves Nightcrawler from his doom of fighting in a... And
she's kind of like the poster girl, isn't she, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Days of Future Past, all mutants look up to her, and I don't know if she likes it, but
that's what it is.
That's what it is, because you've got young Storm in Egypt, and I'm trying to I know it was only like a week ago or something, but my memory is shocking. So it goes tits up. Xavier's school gets blown to pieces because Apocalypse has risen and he's picking his 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
He starts with Storm. He then goes to, oh my god, what's her name? Cyclops?
Yeah. Oh,
The one with the sword. Get her name.
Olivia Munn.
Yes, And then he gets
Cyclops, yeah.
Archangel. And he eventually gets Magneto, as Magneto's identity is revealed in this little town that he's made home, and his wife and child get killed in the process of everyone finding out his identity, and it just sends him into a massive rage. And that rage then gets picked up by Apocalypse, and Apocalypse actually he enhances their powers.
Yeah.
So with Archangel, he had the bone wings. They then turn into these like kind of metal wings, and he just advances what they can already do. And he captures Xavier. He finds him through, what do you call it? Cerebro.
Yeah.
He finds him through Cerebro.
He takes over Cerebro, doesn't he?
Yeah, and and then he realizes what Charles can do, and he's gonna take his body next to put everything that he's got into Charles and take Charles's powers. So the younger X-Men decide, not gonna fucking have this, and decide to go and do something about it. And that's when Jean Grey uses the Phoenix Force, which she just unleashes.
She doesn't really know how to control it.
She doesn't know how to control it, but she just goes with it because she's got Xavier talking her through it in her head, and beat the bad guy. The school gets rebuilt.
Yeah.
We got to see
fine.
Everything's fine. Got to see Wolverine.
Yes.
Wolverine was in a base, and they release him.
He's like Weapon X, isn't he? So.
Well, he is Weapon X. Him, and the end credit scene was a file on Weapon X, which I believe was Deadpool, Wolverine, somebody else, and somebody else. I'm not very fit. Right. X-Men's really tricky with me. I like the 90s I grew up with a 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the 90s cartoon. I used to watch it on a Saturday morning before I used to go to my swimming classes, along with Fantastic Four. And that's as much as I know. And I haven't watched them for years. And I don't read them in comics either.
But who was your favourite?
Rogue in the TV series, in the cartoon.
In the new film, in the movie.
Oh, and the new ones. I've loved it'd have to be James McAvoy doing Professor Xavier, because he's beautiful, and he's a really good actor. He's a really underrated actor.
But you're never going to be Patrick Stewart, are you?
No. And I loved the fact that when Days of Future Past, we saw the old cast and we saw the new one. The old cast, because I remember when the first X-Men film came out. Yeah. And I remember is it going to be like the Batman films? Because I've never watched any of the Batman films because I know how bad they are. So I was like...
No, honestly...
I have a list. I have a list at home, and this list consists of films that I've never seen. And
you need to go and watch the Michael Keaton.
Well, I've watched the first. Watched the first one. That was hilarious with the Joker. So funny. I couldn't stop laughing at it. But I do. I have a list of films. I've never seen The Lethal Weapons. I've never seen I've never seen Apocalypse Now. Classics. I've never seen some of the classics, and I'm gonna. Them and the Batman films are all in there. So many
good lines from those movies. You need to go and watch Lethal Weapon.
Oh, little girls.
You might be able to hear Portia.
Yeah, you might be able to hear Portia through. Oh.
She's having an opinion on X-Men.
Yeah, but the X-Men started in 2000 with Bryan Singer at the helm, and went up to 2000. Went up to 2006 when Brett Ratner took over and just decided to shit all over the franchise. Yeah. Now, my other half is a huge X-Men fan. It is the reason he got into comic books back in the 90s, and he loves X-Men too. He absolutely loves it. He couldn't stand the third one. He absolutely hated it. But the best part about it is Bryan Singer came back with Days of Future Past
Yeah.
and corrected all them wrongs, you know, when they're killing off Cyclops and Jean Grey using like a Phoenix Force and fucking, oh, it was just a mess. It was an absolute mess, that film.
Just don't watch that movie. Just don't watch it.
But when it came back in 2011 with First Class, it was like a little breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It was such a good I really enjoyed that film. Oh, what?
Portia liked it too.
Why don't you come over here? Come over here. Come here. Ah, no. Oh, little girl's going through it at the minute. You going to sit with your mum?
Come on. Just want to talk about X-Men?
You want to talk about X-Men?
Yeah.
Portia's Wolverine.
She's Wolverine.
Along with every other name we give her.
She's a dinosaur.
She's a dinosaur. She's the mother of dragons. She's Wolverine.
She's the cat with the most names.
Yeah, what's the matter, girl?
She's got more names than Daenerys.
That's saying something.
Is what it is.
That is saying something.
Isn't it?
So
Just sit there and be quiet.
I find the X-Men hard to talk about because I don't know. They are a massive thing in Marvel Comics, aren't they? They're huge, and they are sometimes the starting point of why people get into comics. And I don't know too much about them. I find their backstory and their mythology so overwhelming because there's so much to read. I tried to read the all new all different Marvel, and all different something like that. They when they took their issues back to one, and I tried to pick an X-Men book up, and it was
impossible.
It was just it was a
Messy.
hard read, and it was like, oh, the only person who was getting me through, apart from Anth, getting me into X-Men is Comic Book Girl 19, and today she released the Epic History Volume 3 on Vimeo On Demand, and she has gone through the X-Men from start. She did the Phoenix Force in the second one, and now she's going further into Dark Phoenix, and it is interesting, but I just don't think I could find myself picking up a comic based on
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Superman. Superman is so big. Like, he's been going since the 30s. He's got a hell of a lot of history in there, and it's just for me too overwhelming just to jump in and not know.
In the middle of it.
Yeah, I have to know everything.
Yeah.
I have to know everything about a person, and that's why I like Max Landis's American Alien. Oh my god, I can't check before. Superman, I think it was American Alien, and it took you back from, like, he started as Clark as a boy and took you into Superman, like into a man, and it was 7 issues, and it was perfect. It actually got us interested in not so much interested in Superman, but enough to where I was like, I feel a bit more comfortable picking up a Superman comic now.
And is Henry Cavill your Superman?
No.
Or is it always going to be?
It's going to be Christopher Reeves, because Superman 2 is my dad's favourite film.
Yeah.
And, well, it's not his favourite film. Four Weddings and a Funeral is his favourite film. But
it's going to be devastating when he hears this. And
I know, I got
it.
But he loved one of the Superman films, and so Christopher Reeves probably be.
I think everyone's always going to have Christopher Reeves as their Superman.
It's not going to be Brandon Ralph, is it?
No. or Dean Cain from the 90s.
Shut up, man! I love the Adventures of Clark.
I know, but it's not. He's not Christopher Reeve, is he though? It's like,
That's true.
but to me, Terry Hatcher is Lois Lane.
Would be better than Amy Adams in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, I don't like her as Lois Lane. I don't know what it is. It's just not.
Seem too clingy. We'll get into Batman in a minute, because we're still on Fox's films.
Yeah.
And Deadpool.
Yes, we need to talk about Deadpool.
Deadpool, directed by Tim Miller, starring Ryan Reynolds, which was apparently years in the making from what I read on with interviews, and I watched quite because I cover San Diego Comic-Con. I cover San Diego Comic-Con for nerdfeed.com, and like any news and anything, and compile it, or if it's break and put it straight on. And I remember watching the Comic-Con panel before Deadpool was released, so it'd be last August or last July, and that crowd could have been brutal with him. Absolutely brutal, because given the fact that he was Green Lantern
And it was so awful.
and he was Deadpool before, and that was horrible. They were actually very kind to him, and he said, "Listen, this has been in the making for, I want to say like 6-7 years."
I think I was just going to say
it was
I'm
a
sure
long
7
time.
years, yeah.
It was a long time, and he says it's just no studio would pick it up. And when I got given the chance to play Deadpool, I just went with it. And he was really open and honest about it. And he says, like, if it wasn't for the test footage that was released in 2011, 12, of him, just sitting on the motorway and the music,
Yeah.
and it does that fight sequence, if that wasn't released, that wouldn't have started the film.
Yeah.
And he said he is 80% sure that it wasn't him. It was somebody else in the production team. So somebody in the production team, and he's saying he wouldn't confirm or deny if it was him or not,
Right.
release that test footage, because they knew the minute people saw it, saw the suit, saw the way they were going to do it,
Yeah.
and the fact it was going to be R-rated, that was going to get studios interested.
It's like a whole new audience, isn't it, really?
It was brilliant. It was so nice to see a film for us. Like with Marvel films, you know what you're going to get. They're for kids. The
Yeah.
kids' films, you can't take that away from them. But we get Daredevil,
Which is for adults.
which is an adult-based
Yeah.
television program. Like, I'm not saying kids don't watch it, because it's
And Jessica Jones, and to an extent as well, I suppose, Agent Carter, because it's kind of like, why would a kid want to watch that?
yeah, Agent Cops.
They don't care about what happened in the 1940s.
No, they don't.
50s, it's like...
Hang on, keep talking.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
Bless you.
No, so
But with Deadpool as well, I think one
I-
thing that we have to say is people who don't get it. We
yeah.
had this conversation the other day, didn't we?
did.
People who are like, oh, it's immature and it's...
And I can't believe he swears all the time. And if you've never read not even if you haven't read a Deadpool comic, if you don't know this character, he is a fourth wall, ball breaking, motherfucking swearing merc with a mouth. That's what you're getting. That's what Ryan Reynolds is giving you. He give you everything that Deadpool is from a comic, and just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So fuck haters.
He was perfect. He was... Nobody else
No,
could have played that role.
I am sick to shit of pretentious fucking critics being so fucking picky. This film was fun. It was such a fun and funny film. I laughed from the second them credits started, right the way up to the end.
When we went to see it, everybody was laughing.
Everyone.
Everybody. There wasn't one person walked out of that and didn't...
Did you notice not many
enjoy it.
people go to the toilet either?
No. Everybody sat the whole way through. And, people who have watched it after that point, whether they couldn't be bothered to go to the cinema and see it because I just don't know if it's my kind of thing or not. It's like, well, no, it's so immature. It's like, well, if you don't like comic films, don't watch them then. Go and watch whatever else it is that you want to watch. That's fine.
But don't sit there like...
And go, I don't get... Because basically what you're saying is, I don't understand why people like comic films. I don't understand why people like this sort of humour. It's like, well, if that's not your humour, don't watch it then.
Exactly. The thing is with Deadpool, it was fun film. I am looking... I like the idea of it's storytelling. I like the idea of storytelling. I don't mind a bit of seriousness, but you've got to have a bit of lighthearted in there as well.
Yeah, it's like if you go and watch a Will Ferrell movie, you know what kind of humour you're gonna get.
Yes.
Don't go and watch that and expect it to be sophisticated humour, because it's not going to be like that.
No, not at all. And if you watched any of the lead up, the publicity for this film, the publicity for this film was huge. They ramped this up from the second Comic-Con finished right the way up to the release date, and he's still doing it now with the DVD release. They ramped this film up. You knew exactly what you were getting from it, and it was funny. It was hilarious. I just want to go home and watch it now. Actually, it's so good.
It was
So good. So I was disappointed with some comments, and bear in mind there was only like a handful of comments I saw of people having a bitch and moan about it. The rest was like, this was
completely positive.
Like, Colossus, man, they got him right. They made fun of the fact that there was only 2 X-Men You know, they had
Yes.
Xavier's house and there was only 2 X-Men there, and he made fun of that. He made fun of himself. He made fun of a studio. You know, it was very clever writing. It was very well put together. Ryan Reynolds' performance was perfect. Absolutely. This is the Deadpool everyone was looking for.
Yeah.
And just can't wait for Deadpool 2. And if Cable's going to be involved, that's going to be... I don't know too much about the X-Men, but I know who Cable is.
Well,
I know who he is.
We saw the spoiler at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty good with the Ferris Bueller
Yes.
thing. I loved it. So that's like was Fantastic Four Fox, or was that Sony? Check that.
Let me check.
I
Whilst
think-
you talk.
But I'm not talking about Fantastic Four. I just want to know if it was Fox who did it, because I've not seen it. Did you watch Fantastic Four?
I didn't, because I just thought it's going to be so god awful. I don't think I want to see it.
I heard about all the studios' interference with it and how they had to reshoot it, and the one who plays Sue Storm, her hair was different because she chopped it all off after she thought she was finished, and they put her in this god awful wig. Studios' involvement, I'm sure it's Fox.
It's let's have a look.
20th Century Fox?
I'm trying to find the. Just keep talking. I saw the adverts, but I just thought, no, I just don't want to see it.
No, I don't want to. I didn't. I saw the look of Doom, and like I didn't mind the cast. Like the guy from was he in Creed? Who's the guy? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about now. So yeah, there's a reason why I haven't put Fantastic Four in there. It's because I've not seen it. I have no intention of seeing it. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan.
Fox,
It was
yeah.
Fox. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan. I didn't even like when Chris Evans was in it. I didn't like them ones. I've never seen. I think I've seen the first 20 minutes of the first one, and then none of Silver Surfer. And I just do not like the Fantastic Four at all. I find them boring, and just thank God Marvel got rid of them in their comics recently, because I just don't like them.
There's just nothing about it that made me go, this is going to be cool.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good watch.
It was like, no, I don't care about this film. I'm
It
not
wasn't
gonna
like
waste
when-
my money. Well, not my money, because I've got a cinema pass,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to waste my time going to see that.
It's not like it was for for X-Men Apocalypse, because I was like, I want to see it because I've seen like the first 2 and I really enjoyed them. There's got to be some something of that brought into this film. I just thought, because Sophie Turner was in it,
Yes.
it was going to be ruined, and she didn't. She was
No.
brilliant. Her accent grew on us.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to
Because
be.
at the start, it was a little
It was
bit
a
British.
little bit funny, but you got to understand, she is in English. Like her English is much better than our English.
Well, yeah.
She speaks the Queen's English. She speaks like her accent is completely different from ours. We're very much relaxed, and we talk a lot in slang. And I bet
Yes.
she doesn't at all.
We should ask her.
Yeah.
We should ask her.
So Sophie Turner, do you talk in slang?
Yeah, we can always ask.
So that was Fox's films, and then DC.
Yeah.
DC Comics, and Christopher Nolan's trilogy. Batman Begins is one of the greatest Batman films ever.
I think it's my favourite one.
Yeah, Batman Begins. The Dark Knight, didn't mind it. I got into it with somebody over the fact that Heath Ledger, who was perfect, he was brilliant in that film, but I got into it with somebody because I didn't agree that he deserved the Oscar. I didn't think he would never have gotten that Oscar if he was alive.
No.
I think it was nice what the Academy did and recognising him as an actor, but for him to say for that performance he should have won that Oscar,
No.
then I don't believe that at all.
No.
He was good. He was very good, but there was better. There was better.
It was a bit of a sympathy vote, wasn't it?
That's how I felt. But Batman Begins is one of the best Batman origin stories. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I don't think I've watched it for a long time, but if I go back and watch it, I'm still getting chills like as I'm watching it. It's so good.
I just love the whole. It's like what you want Batman to be. That's
It's
like,
nice to see how he trained
Yeah.
to be Batman.
Yeah.
Like with the League of
And like even now,
Assassins
if you compare Christian Bale with Ben Affleck, do you prefer Ben Affleck as Batfleck to Christian Bale?
I like Christian Bale as Batman, and I like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. But I also like Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne. He was really good as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but not as Batman.
No. The Dark Knight was good, but The Dark Knight Rises was absolutely turd. That film went on far too long.
Like, what really gets me about that film...
Don't say Tom Hardy. Because he's Bane.
We've already had a conversation about Tom Hardy in the previous episode.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Portia doesn't like Tom Hardy either.
No.
Because she made that known. And it was the death scene of... what's she called? She's a French actress, the lady who's...
Marianne Cotillard.
Yeah. It was the worst...
She played Talia al Ghul.
The worst death scene I've ever seen in a film in my life.
It was funny as...
It was like high school,
yeah.
pretend to die, and she's in that, and she's in like the truck, and she just like kind of, she just kind of like flops her head to one side
It
and
was
dies.
funny
I'm
as
like,
fuck.
are you for real?
It was funny as fuck when she revealed she was Talia al Ghul. Going, "Mo ha ha ha! I was the bad guy all along."
It was like Scooby Doo.
Fuck off! Get out of here!
It was like Scooby Doo, like ripping the mask
It
off
was.
and being like, "You pesky kids."
I know, and the fact
Yeah.
there was something in there about, I've only ever seen it once. It was only in there about Bane being Ra's al Ghul's son, and I remember Anth screaming at the telly, going, "No, he fucking isn't! She is!" And it just went, like, I remember sitting there watching it going, is this not finished yet? Is this not done yet? And people fucking love that film.
Why?
I don't know.
Because it's got Bane in it. Everyone's on Tom Hardy's dick. Just like, oh, Tom Hardy, because he's British and all these women
And
fancy
he
him.
does a stupid voice. Oh,
He has got that ridiculous voice. And I think people like the costume.
I don't mind the costume. I like his coat.
There was one of my Instagram friends who is Art of Super Shinobi. Go follow him if you don't already. He went to a comic convention recently and sent me a video of a guy dressed as Bane. And
I saw that.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think he had like Timberland boots on. And
Did he have like a Del Boy coat?
A Del Boy style coat, yeah. Like, you know, it was just, it was absolutely horrific.
Oh, I just... Nolan's trilogy the first one was so good.
And is Michael Caine not now your Alfred?
Yeah, I did like that. I like that. I like Lucius Fox as well. But there was The Dark Knight. Batman Begins. I remember watching that and Anth was like looking at us because I hadn't seen it. Because it was around about the time that Superman Returns. Yeah? So Batman Begins came out in 2005 and Superman Returns came out in 2006.
Yes.
And I didn't watch it till after that. And I remember Anth sitting, because I wouldn't watch it because obviously I'm a Superman fan. And I was like, oh, I'm not watching that. I saw the one look at Brandon Ralph and like, no. Is it Brandon Ralph?
Yes, he was.
It is.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in Legends of Tomorrow. He got his character with the album. That
but
is
not as
so
Batman.
good, but not as Superman.
Not
as Superman. And I put Superman Returns and Batman Begins in the same bracket and thought, no, I'm not watching them. And Anthony was like, no, Batman Begins is perfect. But at the end, we were sitting watching, he's looking at us, and he's like waiting for my reaction. It was when he hands them the Joker card at the end, and I was like, oh my gosh. And Anthony was like, that's why it's so good.
Because you know the next one, and obviously it was with Heath Ledger.
It was. And he was really good. Like, I can't stress enough how good he was as the Joker. Like, he put a lot of
himself into that.
and a
He
lot
must
of
have
hard,
dug deep for that.
yeah,
He dug deep, didn't he?
He put a lot of hard work into making that character so scary and real, but I just feel that if he hadn't have died, he would never have gotten an Oscar for that.
Because would they have brought him back for another one? Probably.
Because he was just left hanging, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was just left hanging, and I don't think the Academy would have picked up on a comic book film for his role alone.
No.
I don't believe that in the slightest. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm really glad he's been honoured, but I think he should have been honoured for other work that he did, not just that.
Yeah. Well, it was like Brokeback Mountain, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Which was kind of like the critics' choice of because of the subject matter.
Exactly. It was risky. Like, that could have like completely ruined his career, but he did it anyway. And he did such a good job. Him and Jake Gyllenhaal, or Jake
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
Yeah, me and Michaela don't call him that though. Gilla McCuddy. Become Maggie Gillinicuddy. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But they was I enjoyed that film. Anth won't sit and watch it though.
Speaking of which, though, then Maggie, who was in,
yeah, she took over from Katie Holmes, didn't
Yeah,
she? Because Katie Holmes,
gets blown up.
you could have had no. Katie Holmes was in Batman Begins as Rachel,
Sorry,
and then
Maggie gets blown up.
Maggie gets blown up.
Yeah.
But a Stick could have done a better job in that role than Katie Holmes did. And I don't mind Katie Holmes. I think she's all right. I really enjoyed her in The Kennedys.
Dawson's Creek.
Joey. But I liked her in The Kennedys when she played Jackie O. She was really good in that.
She was, yeah.
But a Stick could have done a better job than she did, because when Maggie Gyllenhaal came in, she just had a bit more personality about her.
She had. Yeah, I was just about to say she was much more. I think she was just a better written character altogether, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was like her. You know, when she's talking to Bruce and she says like, Harvey doesn't know you're joking, but I do. She said it with like sincerity. Like, yeah, we've like. There was just the way she said it. Her words were just very familiar to him. Yeah. And if Katie Holmes had said it, it'd be like, you know, when you type into a machine and a robot talks for you, it'd be like that.
It would just mean nothing.
It'd mean nothing. It was. Her performance was much better than Katie Holmes, and I do like Katie Holmes, but I just didn't like her in that role. No. I was really pleased when Maggie came in. In between The Dark Knight Rises, though, in 2011, Green Lantern was released.
Let's just not talk about Green Lantern. I think we're wasting.
Do you know what's disappointing? It's one of Ant's favourite characters is Green Lantern.
Don't tell me it's one of Ant's favourite films. I'll be really disappointed in it if I hear that.
We have this beautiful Darkest Night picture on our wall, and I want the proper picture of it, because it's probably Ant's favourite comic, and he was so disappointed. We went to see it for my birthday. I would have been about, I'm not going to say how old I would have been, because then you'll know how old I am now. We went for my birthday, and Ant's not a great lover of the pictures. He'll go if I have no one else to go with, and there's hardly anyone in there, and he won't go because he doesn't like people talking. He sat and talked all the way through Green Lantern, telling us where they were going wrong, how they were going wrong, and what the fuck is going on with Ryan Reynolds' face. It's all I got. And I actually do own it on DVD. I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed.
You should burn it.
I should get rid of it. I sold quite a few DVDs not long ago. I should have put that in the pile as well. But I didn't.
Just sneak it in when he's not looking.
Don't think he can. Really don't think he can. And then Superman Returns, didn't watch that. But then we get into Man of Steel. I really enjoyed Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought Henry Cavill was a good Superman. A bit too serious for my liking, like just a little bit too serious.
He is. He hasn't. I think the Superman takes over the Clark Kent side of him a lot.
No, that's really good, yeah. Because it does. He's just too serious. Like, just lighten up a bit, mate. Just like, how are you?
Yeah.
And that last fighting scene, and this is before anything was mentioned. When we and Anthony were watching it, I was like, the destruction that was going on, I was like, Jesus Christ, how much would that cost to put back together?
Wow.
And I like
CGI, my dear.
I like the fact in Age of Ultron how they kind of did a little dig at Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Because you know how they were getting everyone out of Sokovia.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got to save everyone, save as much as we can. And in Man of Steel, they were like, just blow the shit up.
Yeah.
And they didn't care.
Yeah, don't ruin the landscape, then we don't care.
But Zack Snyder is such a good cinematographer. I'm not going to say he's a good director.
But he can create.
He can give you vision. Like, if you've seen Sucker Punch, that film is shit. Utter shit. The storyline is shit. But the visual is beautiful. It is absolutely spectacular. He did it in Man of Steel. He did it in Batman vs Superman. But he cannot piece a story together.
So Batman vs Superman, because obviously that's fairly recent.
Yeah, that's
from March this year.
Oh, where do we start? Where do we start? When we came out with the pictures, I actually said to Carolyn, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then I sat there and thought about it. And it was as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I know I have seen countless amount of people on the internet going, but it made this amount of money. In Avengers has only made this amount of money, and it's not about money. It's about the actual story. That story was pieced together poorly.
Civil War was a better movie than Batman versus Superman.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Down.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And that's not me being biased at all.
No, I mean, I haven't got like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Iron Man, but I am a massive Batman fan as well, and I really, I want it to be. Like,
you want it to be good.
Yeah, like I really want Suicide Squad to be amazing because I love the characters of DC.
See, I like DC's villains more than I like their heroes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really looking forward to Suicide Squad. That's why I like Batman.
Everybody's like, Margot Robbie's already like stolen the show.
She's going to carry that film. She is absolutely going to carry that film. But with Batman versus Superman, there was some redeeming qualities in there. I'm not saying it was a complete like waste of time. Ben Affleck was brilliant as Batman.
He was brilliant as Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, he just looked beautiful as Bruce Wayne.
I mean, good grief.
I know.
Have you seen him?
But that's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of Bruce, and that says something when you don't want to see something of Batman. It's just, me and my sister were talking about this because she watched it, and she really doesn't like comic book films. She doesn't. What did she say she liked?
Well, she liked Star Wars, The Force
Yes,
Awakens,
she liked. That was the reason why she watched Batman for. Is because she came to see Star Wars with us.
Yeah.
And Michaela likes her cinema. She likes our world cinema.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I think we're both on the same page with this. We just want a little bit of fun with films nowadays. Like we just. And she came to see Star Wars with us, and she's not a Star Wars fan at all, and she absolutely loved it. So she gave Batman versus Superman a chance, and she just says it was just visually it was beautiful. But the story put together was just so mismatchy. Lex Luthor, what the fuck was that? Like, Lex Luthor...
I hated him. I hated
They made him psychotic, and he's a genius.
It wasn't that. They made him ridiculous.
Like,
borderline...
Borderline,
like...
You might as well get Ron Burgundy to go up there and do something.
I would rather that Ron Burgundy had played Lex Luthor, if I'm honest with you.
They made him psychotic, and to me, Lex Luthor is a genius. He's got his own business. He's incredibly clever and smart, and they made him like an absolute lunatic. Like that guy couldn't run a company, could barely run a fucking bill up. You know what I mean? It's just, it made no sense. Superman being this whiny little bitch, and Lois Lane, Jesus Christ, she can't even go out the front door without needing to be saved. That was annoying. And then the ending, where you've got Batman saying, like, if we get any chance that we've got to take Superman down, he's done this, that, and the other. And the minute they say them, like, my mum's name's Martha, well, my mum's name's Martha, let's be best friends. And then he stood at the end, and because spoilers, like, if you haven't guessed, but spoilers, Superman dies, and he stands at his funeral and says, I failed him in life, I will not fail him in death. Dude, you've known him for 2 seconds. Like,
we're now best friends.
But we're now best friends. Like, seriously?
Just stop.
Oh,
just
Jesus.
Stop.
And there was a really confusing part where, with Batman, I didn't know, they made it out that Batman was just getting into being Batman.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Batman Brandon people, and they were just making it out that he was just getting started. That's the impression I got. Obviously, you might have had a different one than me. But then, Alfred said, you've been doing this for 20 years? Well, make your fucking mind up. Like,
so what time frame are we working with here?
No. Do you know what surprises more than anything? Wonder Woman.
I love her.
That was good. Wonder Woman.
But you're not now like hyped for the Wonder Woman film.
Yeah, I am actually.
Because it's going to be amazing. The music and everything was just
how they entered her into that was brilliant. The CGI looked like something out of the first fucking Harry Potter film. That was ridiculous. I didn't like that.
That comes out apparently 2nd of June 2017, Wonder Woman's film. So
that'd be wonder. I mean, I'm looking forward, and I'm looking forward to Batman having his own solo film. Hope to God the studio get rid of Zack Snyder. Get him to do the visual stuff. Just get somebody who can put the story together properly, because Batman versus Superman was all over the place. Was there any need for that dream sequence?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even Michaela said, when he finds the files and he sees, like, the Flash and Cyborg and Aquaman, Michaela was like, they really need to put the symbols on there. It would have been more exciting if he clicked into a file and, oh my god, it's the Flash.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's Aquaman. Even Michaela said, I didn't need to see them say, and she knows jack shit about this.
Yeah.
And the Flash, fuck, not even using Grant Gustin as the Flash is ridiculous.
Wow.
That little kid from There's Something About Kevin. You seen that film? It's really good. It's got Tilda Swinton in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. But he just looks like an annoying little shit. So he's probably going to be an annoying little shit as the Flash. I'm just bitter because I love Grant Gustin as the Flash. I did like that. But Suicide Squad comes out this year, and I cannot fucking wait. Another.
Yeah, so that's coming out August 5th, 2016.
Oh, it's going to
Jared
be.
Leto is the Joker. I think it's going to be awesome.
It's just another take on the Joker. Just another, because there's so much there's so many Jokers you can go into, and this, like I said earlier, this is the reason I like DC, is I like their villains, and probably I like Batman's villains more than I like.
It's going to be brilliant.
It is.
I'm totally on board with that. But then well, I'm just looking to see what actually is, because obviously we've got new Turtles movies coming out before that. But you're not really into.
And I'm not gonna lie.
And the new Star Trek film.
I didn't actually mind the first one. Just for what it was.
Yeah.
For what it was, it was alright.
The problem that I've got with it is that it's. I mean, I know it's, it is what it is, but it's so cheesy. It's so predictable. The lines are so predictable. It's like, just come on.
Yeah, the humour is kind of like
tone it down a bit.
It felt a bit forced in there. Some of it wasn't, but I just, for what it was, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not a massive Turtles fan. I used to watch a cartoon when I was a kid.
So that's out like next week.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I do like the idea that
that
Stephen Amell's in it though, and I like Stephen Amell. He's great as the Arrow. Like him. We do like.
And Doctor Strange comes out, which is going to be amazing.
Well, that leads us into the MCU.
Nicely.
Because the MCU is massive. Starting in 2008 with Iron Man. And my God, if you haven't watched Iron Man recently, I highly recommend you
Go
watch
back
it.
and watch
because that film still stands up. Given what we have had between now and then, that film still stands up. Watch Iron Man, then watch Ant-Man.
Yeah.
They're the exact same film. They are so good. I love Iron Man. Probably is in my top 5.
Yeah.
It is that good, and it was a starting point for universes in comic book films. DC didn't really do, and still.
Well, I think, it did start everybody off on that path of like wanting to be into the Avengers and get from cinema. I mean, you, as you said, you absolutely hated the thought of Ant-Man, didn't you?
I wrote a whole review on how not a review, but I wrote a whole article about Ant-Man and how shit it was going to be, and how I wasn't interested in a guy who was going to shrink from normal size to little size because it wasn't Hank Pym. Hank Pym started the Avengers. I had my pretentious head on and watched the film, and it was fucking incredible. It was ridiculously good. I think it took us to about the Avengers. No, actually, it probably took us a little bit more after that to realise this is not comic book history. This is not, we do not have to go back on the actual books themselves. They are creating a universe. Yeah. So therefore they can change things. Exactly. It happens in comic books all the time. And they were creating a separate universe. It was in it, like Civil War. You're never going to have Civil War's storyline as it is in the books to what it is in the film, because
it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't translate onto screen.
And it really wouldn't have with this universe. Now DC are just starting to get into the universe because they've got a Batman solo film coming out. There's a talk of a Harley Quinn film coming out.
I think there will be. Come on.
Because I think Margot Robbie is going to carry
I bet Margot
that
Robbie
cast.
kept her diary free for that to be.
She is
put
going
into
to
her,
carry that cast. So this,
schedule.
and even so much as Fox, like with the X-Men, like not the first three, but like from year one, and Deadpool even introduced the idea of his film and the X-Men crossing over and them making a little universe for themselves.
I mean,
And
Wolverine 3 comes out in March.
March when? Next year? Obviously not this year,
Yeah,
Sam.
Yeah.
Obviously not this year.
And then also, obviously, next year, Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Yeah.
Another part of the Marvel
family. Universe. So Marvel were, with Iron Man riding really high, Jon Favreau did an amazing job of that. Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Edward Norton, but I like Edward Norton. So regardless if that film was shit or not, I was going to like that film because I like him.
Yeah.
And Iron Man 2, bit, I'd take it or leave it. That was the introduction to Black Widow, so
yeah,
I like that. I did like that. And then he had Thor, which was
great.
Was the first time from obviously from Iron Man, because all we'd seen up until that point was, you know, Earth. We'd now gone into a little bit of mystical, you know, into the gods, and just showed you that was and Kenneth Branagh did a really good job of that. I enjoyed that. Then Captain America: The First Avenger. I fucking love that film. I absolutely love, and I still can. I've watched it not long ago. I think I watched it just before Civil War, and it still holds up. What an amazing origin story! You know, first look at Peggy.
Everyone just fell in love with Peggy, didn't they?
Peggy, she was brilliant, and then you had Bucky as well. Like, oh, it was so good. And then the Avengers. And I still love the Avengers. I still get really emotional when I hear the music. I'm like, oh my god. I'm such a child. The Avengers was such a good film. It was the first time of seeing all these people coming together, and you know the not, you know, there was moments where they weren't quite on the same page, and you know they still hold their own values, like especially between Steve and Tony. Their values, they still had their own opinion kind of thing. Yeah. I like that. And then Iron Man 3. Wah, wah.
People just don't want to talk about it.
Oh, it was so bad. Terrible. It was so bad. And even Thor: The Dark World.
Terrible.
Oh.
And actually, I think I hate Thor.
Yeah.
2 more than I hate Iron Man 3.
Thor 2, they went, holy shit, need to fill a gap. Let's do Thor 2.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most, it just felt rushed. It was piss poor storytelling. And I actually remember saying, that's it, I'm done, Marvel. Like,
you failed
twice
in a row.
If this is what we're getting, I'm not fucking interested. And I put off watching Captain America: Winter Soldier until, oh god, ages after it'd been out, and Ant wanted to watch it, and I just sat there and went, I'm back in the seat.
Yeah. That
film, even with Civil War being out, is probably still my favourite. Because it's just so good. The Russo brothers, Anthony and Joe Russo, did what... I didn't know this at the time because Age of Ultron hadn't been out yet, but they did what Joss Whedon couldn't do in Age of Ultron. So,
yeah,
because they brought Romanoff from being assassin and now an Avenger into something else, and then in Age of Ultron they kind of like just
well, they gave her a platform of her own, didn't they?
And that was nice to see, because there's talks now of a Black Widow solo film, and it's about fucking time.
Well, the thing is, that was the big thing, wasn't it? When Age of Ultron came out, there was loads of stuff on the internet, people going mad because Disney hadn't put any, or hardly any, Black Widow merchandise. Everybody else got all the cool stuff, and then it was just like a couple of bits,
a couple of little bits here and there.
It was like, oh, the feminists were up in arms, and it was
take into account, as a fan, that woman, that character, has been in these films since 2010.
Yeah, she
has been in them before Thor, before Captain America, before Ant-Man. Do you know, she's been there
one of the
first ones. And she gets sidetracked
because she's a woman.
That's how it comes across. But the Russos...
Let's be fair, probably true. But that's not me being like a feminist about it. I don't mean I'm not like that at all. But I just think that's possibly one of the
Yeah.
reasons.
But the Russo brothers just give her a bit more character, and like that relationship between her and Steve was just perfect. Like it was something he needed. He really did like need a friend. And I know he gets it in Falcon eventually, but she understands him.
Yeah.
She really does understand him. Oh, baby girl.
Portia's back.
But in Age of Ultron, they didn't show that. You wouldn't have even known they knew each other. They didn't speak.
Yeah. Because it was all about her and Hulk.
Oh, I didn't
Having
want
that
to
little
see that.
ridiculous romance that they had goes or whatever.
Oh, I didn't want to see that. I don't give... I know a lot of people got angry at Age of Ultron as well when she sat there and said she was a monster because... Well, this is how they interpreted it. That she was a monster because she couldn't have kids. That is not how I interpret it at all.
It's a pretty harsh thing to say.
It is. She didn't... I don't think... When she said... She says, I was sterilised... And she talked about that, and then she said, and then she ended the whole conversation with, "Who's the monster now?" She's talking about it, the assassin side of her, not the fact that she can't have fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like it's not a factor in it at all. Oh my god, that whole thing was ridiculous. This is what I mean about fucking people. Jesus. But Guardians of the Galaxy, how the fuck could I forget that?
Just, I think it's possibly my favourite.
When it was announced, did you go, who? Guardians of the Who?
No, I was like, this is fucking cool. I knew who they were.
I didn't. I have no idea who they were. So when it was announced, and I remember it was announced in 2011 Comic-Con, and I went, who the fuck are them?
I remember Gamora. So I thought she was fucking cool. She was green.
I picked up Guardians of the Galaxy with Angela. I want to say Angela. If they don't bring her into the MCU at some point, I will shit biscuits. Literally. Because
Biscuits are cookies, by the way, for those of you who are from the other side of the pond.
She's such a
Which
such
would be
a strong
pretty cool
character.
if you could produce them on demand.
It'd be interesting. But going back to Guardians of the Galaxy, it was after Captain America Winter Soldier, and I was back on board with Marvel. My seatbelt was tightly fastened after Guardians of the Galaxy because James Gunn just did such an amazing job. It is so funny. Chris Pratt is
brilliant.
He is Peter Quill. When I went and read the books and then saw, what is wrong with my memory? I've just said his name.
Chris Pratt.
Thank you.
Come on, it's Chris Pratt.
God.
He's in my top 5 of fictitious boyfriends.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that.
You know.
But when I read it and then saw him, it was exactly the same. And I love the direction they're going in for the next one. You're going to have Kurt Russell. And I don't think it's been confirmed if he's going to play Peter Quill's dad. Now, Peter Quill's dad in the comics is Jason. So J apostrophe son.
Yeah.
And he is an absolute bastard. He is the biggest bastard walking. He is a horrible son of a bitch. Captain Marvel has had many a run-in with him. He is the complete opposite to Peter Quill.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go down that route. Because if it's Kurt Russell playing him, I don't want to see him go down that route.
Yeah. Well, that's out May 5th,
Yep.
2017, and Wonder Woman's after that.
There was talk.
And then Spider-Man
Homecoming's
out July 2017, apparently. And then we've got Thor, November 2017.
Ragnarok. That's going to be interesting because we're getting into the Infinity Stones, and that's going to lead us into Infinity Wars. And that's going
Which is going to be cool because Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is out, and then you've got that.
But I think Star-Lord's going to be a part of that. Doctor Strange, I think, is... But the more interesting side for me is part 2, where Captain Marvel is going to be... Carol Danvers is going to be in that film. I'm thinking about casting for that. And I think they'll end up going with Charlize Theron because she looks like her. Hope to God they don't. Because I like the idea of Emily Blunt playing her.
There was talk, wasn't there, of Ronda Rousey wanting to be Captain Marvel.
Fuck that. Not a chance. Not a chance. Yeah, you don't know.
Especially because she lost against Holly Holm.
Not even that. You don't even know if she can act. I think, oh gosh, she was in Expendables 3.
And in Fast and Furious.
I bet she just played herself though.
She played like a bodyguard or something.
Well, there's a fucking surprise.
Yeah.
But I want Emily Blunt. I really want Emily Blunt. To be honest, I'd have Emily Blunt playing in anything. I love her. Since I saw The Edge of Tomorrow and just saw like she can do like action and then she can do comedy and she can do romantic. Like I love the 5-year engagement.
Yeah.
But Michaela wants to see her play Bond, a female James Bond, because like they say James Bond is just a code name. That I think Tom Hiddleston's going to be taking that role.
Don't know about that.
Don't really care about James Bond.
Don't
I fucking hate
know
it.
about that.
I think I've seen one James Bond film in my life. If Tom Hiddleston played him, I might give it a... I like Tom Hiddleston.
I like him, yeah, we like him.
The only thing that... Marvel have created this magnificent universe, and it's starting to reach out. Doctor Strange is going to be more magical, and you got the Guardians, it's more spacey, and Thor, it's mystical, and mythology and shit like that. The only thing that there's a little bit missing from them is their villains.
They haven't got a really
slight
stand out, have they?
Loki was...
But then obviously Thanos.
Thanos is going to Josh Brolin just looks perfect. Did you know that Josh Brolin only did it from... He was not the guy at the end of the Avengers when he turns round.
Yeah.
That's not him. And that's not him in... I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy first picked up the face. But anything other than that was not him. And he's going to be... I love Josh Brolin. Absolutely love it. If you like Josh Brolin as much as I do, go and listen to him on Nerdist podcast. His interview on there is brilliant. Just shits all over Jonah Hex and talks the Marvel up big style. But when it comes down to bad guys with Marvel, Loki was probably the most predominant one to think of. And then Ultron.
But you kind of like Loki as well, though.
Yeah.
Like, everyone likes him. It's like...
I want to see more of him. But what I was going to lead it into was the fact that their villains aren't that standy-outy as the ones in the TV shows. And I'm not talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm talking about...
Flash. Not Flash.
Daredevil.
About Daredevil.
Daredevil
and Jessica Jones.
David Tennant
was
one of the best Marvel
Yes.
villains I have ever seen. That motherfucker terrified me.
He's got the stare. He's got that stare, man.
It was so scary.
Yeah.
Because I know him as the Doctor. He's not my favourite Doctor, but he is, I'm a fan of Doctor Who.
I was talking to somebody last week about him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it was Ray Paez who did our banner for this podcast. He's not really into Doctor Who. I know Doctor Who's kind of gathered a lot of pace in America, and people are like really
they love it, don't they?
Yeah,
it was something that was forced upon us as kids.
People don't seem to realise that he was Doctor Who. So unless they're well up on Doctor Who.
I know a lot of Whovians in America. They know Tennant as the Doctor. What they don't realise is that this is a program that was forced upon us as kids, and we fucking
We've
hated
had it since like the 70s.
Exactly. So this is a program that like my mum used to watch, and
every Christmas there'd be a special.
It's not like it is now. I only started watching it when Chris Eccleston came in, who is also been in a Marvel film as well. So David Tennant was a motherfucking terrifying villain for me. Like, really scary. Just the idea of what he can do. Yeah. Like, when he's got them two people standing there and he's like, you've got to wait until Jessica comes out. Yeah. Like, until Jessica comes and they can't blink.
Yes.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
And obviously with Daredevil, we've got Fisk.
Oh my God, I could do a full... Now Punisher's like an anti-hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
Have you finished it?
Well, I did start watching it today and I fell asleep.
Oh, for God's sake.
I fell asleep after I think I'm on episode 12. So...
Oh, you've probably got one more, have you?
Yeah.
It's Fisk. I mean, we'll just base it on the first series. Part of what you know of Punisher, he is like an anti-hero. But I'm not a fan of Frank
Karen
Castle.
gets it, doesn't she? She gets
God,
it.
she can fuck right off her.
Do you not like her?
No, not at all. The bitch just sticks her nose in where it's just not wanted. Like, I couldn't give two shits. She was annoying as fuck. I can't even tell you what happens to Foggy, but she just can go and fuck off a very long pier. because I just do not want to see her anymore.
You really don't like her.
I don't. I didn't. She just got on my nerves. But Frank, I'm not a fan of the Punisher in the comics. I have actually read and reviewed Betty Coolan's first issue of the Punisher that came out a few weeks ago. It was okay. It was good. I enjoyed it as a comic of what it was, but I'm not a huge fan of the Punisher. I was actually more interested with the side characters as opposed to him being there. But what John Bernthal brought to that character was nothing more than brilliant. The speech at the grave when he's talking about his family and like how his daughter just held him so tight that his rib cage, like, he could have burst a rib, and I was like, that was probably one of the best bit of writing and acting I'd seen. Like, I just get emotional just thinking about it. It was so good.
Yeah, the writing, I think John Bernthal played it so well.
He was so committed from day one, and the minute it was announced he was Punisher, oh, Carolyn, she's just getting settled. And you're trying to put glasses on her. Oh, baby. I know, bad mammy. You know, you should have come sit next to me. But the minute he was announced as the Punisher, he was just committed. He showed a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And it seemed to fit perfectly. And he was I know you said the fight scene between him and Fisk was ridiculous.
It was so...
I thought you meant him and Matt.
No,
Sorry, I didn't think you meant that
the one between Punisher and Fisk in the prison, it was so camp. Like, you saw Fisk, like, flailing backwards. Like, some sort of, like, pantomime. It was just, like, really?
Can we just talk about Fisk for a minute?
Yeah.
Because he is one of the best Marvel villains. Like, probably the best
ever.
For me. That guy. This is how good Vincent D'Onofrio was as Fisk. I was rooting for him to get to that helicopter, to get to Vanessa, because he was so damn good. He was. We rooted. Me and Ant just sat and rooted for him the whole way through, and it was like we shouldn't be, like, he's such a this terrible guy, but because Vincent D'Onofrio was playing him so brilliantly, we were like, get to the fucking helicopter. And apparently he is signed up for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right.
So we may be getting him. And I've
That'd be
also
cool.
heard that Charlie Cox could be involved in Infinity Wars.
Okay.
He's a really good Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of Daredevil recently. I'm in the middle of Born Again and The Man Without Fear. I'm also reading his ongoing issue at the moment, and he's just so good. He's so good. The fact that he can, with him and Punisher, they're obviously the opposite to each other, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Punisher will kill somebody, he won't.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he's heard Frank's story and he kind of understands why he does it for, he still doesn't let that darkness cloud his light of the fact that he still believes in the justice system.
Well, yeah, it's like he says, when they have that, they say, right, we're going to have to join forces here.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, this once we're going to do it.
Is that when he rescued him?
Yeah, and he says, if you can't just do it just once you're on that road, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It says you're only one bad day away from being me.
Uh-huh.
And Matt's like, not a chance, nah. It doesn't matter how bad it gets, I still believe in the justice system, and I still believe
and
it
he's
works.
still Catholic.
Oh, that Catholic guilt.
He's got the Catholic guilt.
He's got that Catholic guilt about him.
Mm-hmm.
But this Marvel just, they had a little bit of a glitch, and I think that's when the studio got a lot more involved than what it should have, and that was Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World. But since then, they are on an absolute high.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish with DC they can put the energy and the effort that they do with their animated films and their TV shows into their films, because their animated films are absolutely spectacular. Killing Joke comes out this year. I cannot wait. It's like I said in the last episode, it is the second comic book I read. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible, and I just wish they'd put that energy that they do into their films, because if they did, they would be on point. That's it.
That's it.
That's all I've got.
That's all we've got at the minute. That's where we are. We've kind of gone through that sort of recent sort of history, haven't we?
Yeah,
and what's coming up.
There's a lot coming up. Like Doctor Strange is coming out, Suicide Squad.
And because we've been talking for over an hour.
Yeah, just talking shit.
So the next podcast is going to be the Game of Thrones update
Yeah.
because we're doing episodes 5 and 6.
5
think
and
it-
6?
I think it's 5 and 6. Because
Hang
I think
on, 1,
6 is tonight.
2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6. 5 and 6. So 5 and 6. Oh god, that's gonna be one that I might have to bring a tissue for. Duh, so sad. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. So you can find us on, well, this is gonna be on YouTube. Two Girls and a Cat on YouTube. It's going to be on Nerdfeed as well under Comic Book Movie because it's all about comic book movies. And you can also find us on Twitter at Two Girls and a Cat. You can now find us on Two Girls Podcast.
Two Girls Podcast.
Two
which
Girl
is,
Podcast.
2 as in the word 2, not the number.
Not the number, as Carolyn learned earlier. TWO. Two Girls Podcast on Instagram. You can also find us on Instagram. I am Sammy_Fet13.
And I am Carrie JC1983.
And we are also on Facebook as Two Girls and a Cat as well. So it's been fun, it's been emotional, it's been something.
Educational.
It's been something. It's just been an hour and 5 minutes of me ranting.
Sam had to get it out today.
Had to.
Had a lot to say.
And
Portia's had a lot to say too.
Oh, the little Portia was so vocal earlier on, you all missed it. She's going through some stuff, little lady.
She's going through some lady things at the minute.
Oh, little princess. So yeah, well, thank you very much for listening. Remember, give us a thumbs up, subscribe.
And obviously we know who the thumbs down is.
We know you. But yeah, just thumbs up, subscribe, and be sure to listen out for our next episode, which is all about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Okay, see you later.
Thanks now. Bye.